Welcome to another live stream watch-along reaction. Tonight we're watching and reacting to Canada versus Ivory Coast in the Canadian Shield 2025. We have pretty much a final here. All things considered, unless Canada get absolutely packed up by Ivory Coast, we have a final here. Do you think the Oilers are screwed? No, I don't. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. No, still 7. Okay, they'll still lose. 6-1 is crazy. Yeah, the Leafs did it twice, and they still went to 7. So, with that being said, we're here for the Canadian Shield. Canada wins, draws. Yep. It's crazy. Yeah, I agree with that. They'll bounce back, and like the Leafs, they actually have mentality. With that being said, Canada, if they win, draw, or lose by less than 2, they win the Canadian Shield. They were just as good last year, the Panthers. By the way, the Oilers won 8-1 last year and still lost the Stanley Cup. So if it was the Leafs, no, you'd be right. I'd be like, yeah, no, they lost 6-1. It's over. No. The Oilers have a mentality. They're not punks like the Leafs. They'll bounce back. It'll still go to 7. They'll still go to 7, as always. Agreed. Praying for LA. And I hope you don't run into the National Guard or the Marines in downtown LA either. Praying for you and the people in LA. I already said that because the Leafs, I'm a Leafs fan. I already said that. Yeah, but all you have to do is win 2. It's 2-2. 3-2. You make it 3-3, then they'll get to 7. They'll get to 7. With that being said, starting 11s are as follows for Canada. In goal, we have Dane St. Clair, the back 4 of Sam Adekubi, Richie Laryea, Ishmael Kone, Joel Waterman, but Larea's probably where Waterman is. Freaking fop mob. Midfield 2, Derek Cornelius, Ali Ahmed. The midfield 3 of Daniel Jebison, Kyle Laren, Jaden Nelson, and Jonathan Osorio. Flip Osorio and Laren. Why is Fop Mob so wrong? They will. The Oilers will bounce back. I believe in them, unlike the Leafs. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I don't know if I would, but I'll cope about it, I guess. He'll at least score during the playoffs. Starting 11 for Ivory Coast, we have in goal, we have Badra Ali Sangare, the back 4 of Wilfred Singo, Parfait Guigon, Clement Akpa, Ghislaine Conan, the midfield 2 of Frank Kessier and Ibrahim Sangare, the midfield 3, attacking midfield 3 of Evan Guessand, Odion Kosunu, and Simon Adingra, and up top Pepe for Ivory Coast. And Florida touched the trophy too, and they're winning. It doesn't matter. So basically every year since 1993, it's been an abomination. Well, most of the time I feel the same way. But when St. Louis won, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. If Pittsburgh ever wins another one, I guess I'll find that cool. I'm not sure. Certainly an abomination when Florida wins it, though. No, the Panthers touched the trophy. Tkachuk touched the trophy. I watched them get presented the trophy. He touched it. How we doing, Dylan? We got the Ivory Coast versus Canada. That should be starting any moment now. Oh, USA playing Switzerland right now. They started a couple of minutes early. There you go, I guess. Okay. Speaking of, if Canada wins, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Rory, tell Pacharo he's wrong. I could have sworn Tkachuk touched the trophy. I was watching the thing. Tell him he's wrong. He didn't lift it like Connor McDavid did, but he touched the damn thing. Maybe your head turned for 2 seconds. McDavid lifted it, though, so fair enough. He actually lifted the thing. They got owned by Senegal. You love to see it. I cannot believe it happened, to be fair. He's on the bench tonight. If he wasn't able to play, he wouldn't be on the bench. So they wouldn't even have him on the bench just to get people's hopes up. I don't like that Kyle Laren is starting, but we'll see what happens. Fair enough. McDavid lifted it. Tkachuk touched it. I agree. There's a difference, I guess. He touched it. They touched it in 23 and 25. They didn't touch it in 20. Wait. Either way, it doesn't matter. They don't care. They're dirty. Maybe you're seeing things. Maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe my glasses don't work as much as I thought. I don't know. I just got them, but exactly. So even if Tkachuk touched it, Connor lifted it. So if he didn't, you screwed up. If he did, you still lifted it, which is even worse. So there you go. Yeah. This game's supposed to be on FS2. What's going on? Huh. So they're not even going to do the anthems. Y'all suck. It's starting 7:36. I'll take it. Well, we'll see, but whatever. Who cares about this live golf stuff? You know, I'll just sing it myself just in case. Oh, Canada, oh, my native land, true patriot love, in all of us coming, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for No. Hopefully. Just in case they miss it because they're going to flip it over at 7:36. We did that. And if they... I'll sing it again if we didn't miss it. How about that? So, expected it. Told you. Again, if Canada wins tonight, draws tonight, or loses 2-0 or less, they will win the Canadian Shield. If they lose 3-0, they lose the Shield. Actually, wait. A 1-0 loss is a -0 goal differential. A 2-0 loss is a +1. 2-0 is +2, but we still have more goals scored than Ivory Coast. Yeah. 3-0 or higher loss, we lose the Shield. Anything else, we win. So, I'm not good at math, but I think that makes sense. Either way, Concacaf World Cup qualifiers. Let's talk about some of the... I already sang the anthem. You missed it. Because FS2 is dumb. With that being said, Bermuda beat Cuba, which means Bermuda's going to qualify to the third round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. Speaking of, Reggie Lamb scored a goal for Bermuda. Former Toronto FC player, Reggie Lamb, scored the goal to put Bermuda into the third round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. I know, right? I know, right? Good for him. Good for Reggie Lamb. I bet y'all forgot about him. I bet y'all forgot. 2011 to 2014. Well, December 2011 to 2014. Cool. Hopefully you're not the only person there. But he scored the goal to put 21 minutes, scored the goal to put Bermuda through. Awesome. Cuba's eliminated. Honduras is through no matter what. So Honduras, Bermuda go through Group A. Group B, Grenada beats St. Kitts 3-2. But as long as Trinidad and Tobago don't lose 6-0 to Costa Rica, Trinidad advances to the second round. Jorge is bad, but he's better than Emilio Lara. Good. Frings, washed at the time. Fry, we should have never got rid of him. Lamb, he was solid at times. Silva, João Plata, honestly, should have never got rid of him. João Plata was freaking energy. How is Colombia beating Argentina? Colombia has more to play for than Argentina. That's how. Oh, teams are about to walk out. So, no, we didn't miss the anthem. Okay, we'll do it again. No, the game hasn't started yet. FOTMob says the game started. The game hasn't started yet. But Trinidad should advance over Grenada unless absolute disaster happens. Should. Group C. We knew it was Curacao and Haiti. Curacao beat Haiti, but they were both advancing anyway. Group D. Let's see. I think we already knew who it was going to be. Yep, we already knew. Los Piñoleros and Panama. We already knew. Doesn't matter the result there. Group E. Dominican Republic. We knew they were out, but they're winning their match. We knew it was Jamaica, Guatemala. Jamaica's beating Guatemala. Doesn't matter the result of the DR game. El Salvador, Suriname. Ah, yes, Group F. Here's the other one. 8 p.m. Group F. If Puerto Rico wins and El Salvador loses, El Salvador will get knocked out by Puerto Rico. El Salvador has to get a result off Suriname or hope Puerto Rico loses to St. Vincent to advance. Bermuda moves on to the third round. Trinidad should be, and we'll see what happens with El Salvador and St. Vincent. Suriname is advancing. So, teams are about to walk out. I know. Interesting. Good. You'll find out on the 13th. Hey, Colombia has something to play for. Argentina doesn't. So, there you go. Yeah, no, FOTMOB jumped the gun. Saudi Arabia may be worse than I thought. That's my thoughts. They still should be able to handle their group, though, which you'll find those predictions out tomorrow. Speaking of, would I love to see Trinidad qualify over Saudi Arabia? Yes. Will they? I don't know. Be funny if they did. Be funny if they did. Here we go. Canada wearing their red jerseys. Ivory Coast anthem first. So we sing "Oh Canada" twice. Think Haiti has a better chance myself. Trinidad, though, I mean, are we going to sleep on Tyrese Spicer? Speaking of, Dante Seeley also plays for Trinidad, one of your guys. He also played very well the last Trinidad game. Well, Steven Eustachio's getting an award. So, maybe you should want Trinidad to win. Then we have Ivory Coast versus Canada. Pretty much a final. And no, they're going to commercial anyway. So, no, I knew. Saw it coming. What do you know? Really? Ottawa plays York tomorrow. Can champ. Ain't that something? Huh. How's Curacao winning every match? They got a pretty easy group. Do that what you will. 4-0. I know. I just saw the score. I mean, Curacao got a pretty easy group, all things considered. Like, Haiti? I mean, see, you really think Haiti has a better chance than Trinidad and they've been topped by Curacao? Not surprised. Yeah, but they just got topped by Curacao. Competent everywhere, but they got topped by Curacao, who've honestly been bottle jobs for a while. Okay, competent, sure. Like, if Haiti was as competent as you say, they would have been better than Curacao and also not lose at home 5-1. Competent, really? I know football's a weird sport, but 5-1 to Curacao. Erickson is going probably to MLS. I could see it. I could see it. MLS, Erickson to MLS, I could see it. I could see it. Nice to see Kone playing / starting. It is a good pick. Lindelof's going back to Sweden. Well, I didn't say anything about him, but you're right. They'll make the knockouts. We'll see what happens after that. His level. I know there's an IndyCar Grand Prix in St. Louis this weekend, I know. Starting 11, St. Clair, Atakubi, Cornelius, Waterman, Larea, Nelson, Osorio, Kone, Ahmed, Laren, and Jebison for Canada. It's 4-0 for the USA. Well, nobody's as good as the teams they've played at the Gold Cup, at least in the group stage itself. That's the good news for them. The bad news is they still, I don't think they'll get grouped. That's harsh. Ivory Coast wearing white jersey. Canada wearing their reds. No. Well, they lost. Could have lost by more. So I guess lucky in that way, but you know, sure. Canada beat Ukraine. They're ranked above Ivory Coast here. In theory, Canada should win this match. Filip Dujic is the referee tonight. Oh, it's the however dude. Except there's no VAR tonight, so no meme. No meme. Filip Dujic, the however man, is the center ref. Saudi didn't even qualify automatically to the World Cup. They still got to play another round. Okay. Besides, the Al Hilal players aren't there. Starting 11 for Ivory Coast, Badra, Conan, Akbak, Osunu, Singo, Kessier, Sangare, Adingra, Guiagon, Pepe, and Gesand. Latte Lath on the bench, Allaire on the bench. Man, they don't like Allaire anymore, do they? Wow. Allaire overcame nut cancer just to get benched. I didn't say that. I'm just saying I think we're a little bit... I think we're saying the USA is screwed way too early. Now, group knockouts, I don't think they're going to win the tournament, but grouped? That's... If Saudi finishes above the USA and Trinidad does, and the USA finishes third or fourth, Pochettino better get fired. I'm sorry. If he can't get out of the groups, he better get fired. Simple. They should do enough to get out of the group. Even if it's Saudi above the USA, then USA above Haiti and Trinidad. I'd laugh. Hell, if it was Haiti and Trinidad above Saudi and USA, I'd laugh my ass off. Second half, or first half about to start. Here we go. Well, yeah, but it is a Canada game, and we're off. False start. Let's do it right this time. Ivory Coast kicks off. Here we go. If Canada wins, draws, or loses less than 2-0 or 2-0 or less, they win the trophy. Which it would take an absolute disaster to lose this trophy at this point, but you'd rather get the result. Yeah, true. If you lose to New Zealand, you also should win. Yeah, but there was no way they were blowing an 8-goal differential lead. Like, I don't know why we were all like, hey, you know, Saudi Arabia still has a chance. Be like, dude, they're not blowing an 8-goal differential lead. They also defend very well. That's out for a corner for Ivory Coast. Really good attack there. Cornelius clears. But yes, they've officially qualified. Forza Canada. Yeah, Canada-Mexico seems like a really good final. Yeah, fair enough. Look at the USA lineup. Look at the Mexico lineup. Mexico actually cares. USA doesn't. These are just friendlies, but still. Well, they also have the Gold Cup. The earlier score, if you talk about this tournament, Ukraine beat New Zealand 2-1. So everybody has 3 points, except Ivory Coast. Cross in. If they win, then they'll have 3 points. Everybody has 3 points. 0-0 over the bar. Goal kick for Dane St. Clair. Okay. Okay, they got it right. over the bar. We won our game. USA didn't win either. Even if we lose this, we've got a better window. Yes. 2 minutes in, 0-0. Even if Canada loses this, they still have... Exactly. If you don't lose 6-0, you're going to advance. I'm sure they'll park the bus to a certain extent as to where they don't lose 6-0 and maybe steal a goal. I think you're fine. I think you're fine. Bahamas moves on. We know that, which is crazy. Just crazy. Didn't expect that. Bahamas over Cuba in the third round of World Cup qualifying. Trinidad should advance, and we're going to see what El Salvador and the PR, Puerto Rico. We'll see what happens to El Salvador. Bermuda. Blech. Bermuda, my bad. Did I say Bahamas? I meant Bermuda. If I said Bahamas, I meant Bermuda. My bad. Blech. Can't believe I screwed that up. Hello, Ryan. I'm back at the Barclays Center to watch a WNBA game. Congratulations to New York Liberty for winning the WNBA championship. Also, congratulations to Gotham for winning the Concacaf W Champions Cup. That was a good game. Yeah. He's like, I don't want to put Bellingham on my jersey because I don't want to live off my brother's name. And then he goes to freaking Dortmund. Dude, you are doing what your brother did. You are living off your brother's name. Delusional. Like, no disrespect, but delusional. Dude, you're living off your brother's name because you went to Dortmund. You're following his path. Just because you put your damn first name on the back of your jersey doesn't mean... On a surface level, you aren't. Hypocrite. It is a good signing, I'm just saying. He's being hypocritical. But he'll still put Job on his jersey instead. I guess. I don't know. If he wears his brother's number, Dortmund number. Man, people are going to absolutely lose it. I still got to talk about the Canada game, though, so. Exactly, but they can't. Yeah, but he was never doing that. It's better to play for Dortmund than a Sunderland that's probably getting relegated next year, all things considered. I understand it. Dortmund's very good at youth development. They develop young players very well, then sell them on for high fees. It's always been the history of Dortmund. Bino Gittins, he's about to go to Chelsea. English, but he's about to go to Chelsea. I think that's a really good signing, by the way. Very solid player, Bino Gittins. Sancho, Dortmund saved his career. More of a Batshuayi type move than either way. Playing forward. Oh, nice. Shot, Larin. Larin, top of the box. Shot, Waterman in. Offside. 6 minutes. No VAR, so it doesn't matter. Good. Of course. She's still talented, though. This team's getting grouped. The USA is not... I still have a feeling we're being too harsh. Oh. Ooh. I'm going to say Red Bulls finish above NYCFC. That's out. Actually, no. Ahmed, nope. Gave it away anyway, but it didn't go out. I say Red Bulls finish above NYCFC. It might be one position above, but I think Red Bulls are the slightly better team right now. That could change, but that could change. Honestly, pick a lane is my thing. Shot wide. That didn't touch St. Clair, right? Yep, goal kick. 0-0. Well, good for Senegal. Does that mean Canada's better than England if they win this game? Yeah, but they have VAR in the damn stadium. Like, this is BMO Field. You have MLS. There's VAR in the stadium. You can use it. See, I understand Rentschler Field. Maybe they took the VAR out when Toronto left the damn place. Fine. Got it. This tournament, Toronto has VAR. The monitors are still where they are. It's BMO Field. You could have used VAR for 4 games. Wow. There's still a second half. Yes. Yes, they are. But the USA called up a horrible roster anyway for... Yep. This is why you don't let your... But, we're only resting our best players so they can play the World Cup. 9th minute throw in. Ivory Coast has been solid. Now, the thing is here, I wonder, if Canada wins this game, does that mean they're better than England? Oh, look, an F1 the movie ad at BMO Field. I love it. They got to wait for the Gold Cup at least. See how bad that goes. Say, F1 ad. Speaking of, if I do a F1 Grand Prix live, we will pray for the drivers before the Grand Prix starts on the stream. We will. Cross in by Ahmed. Offside. Really? I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Speaking of the U.S. Open Cup, how do you lose to Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh's a tough city. All love to Pittsburgh. It's a wonderful city. It's a wonderful city. I love Pittsburgh. It's been good to me. The city of Pittsburgh's been good to me. It's a wonderful city. It's a wonderful city. We love Pittsburgh here. We love Pittsburgh here in this house. Playing forward. And that was a bad giveaway. Jefferson doesn't get on it. Well, I mean, hell. The Steelers did against the Eagles as well. I mean, what'd you expect? It was MLS versus USL. Also, what'd you expect? The Steelers choke all the time under Mike Tomlin, and the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. So, Mike Tomlin is a joke. I know, I'm just saying I didn't say it. They might be right. That'd be crazy, but they might be right. I know, I heard. 11th minute. Quinones is singing the anthem. Well, yeah. He's Mexican. He chose to play for Mexico. Should. It's not like he was a mercenary. He chose. Like, Quinones legit chose to play for Mexico. He legit chose that. Like, he wanted to play for Mexico. I don't think the Nations League thing matters, but 12th minute. Like, he wanted to play for Mexico. Yeah, he sings the anthem. Like, that's pretty obvious. Like, I feel like that's pretty obvious. The dude sings the anthem. He wanted to play for Mexico. He's not a mercenary that couldn't get called up for his home country, but could for Mexico. No, he wanted to play for Mexico. He's like Santi Jimenez. So, playing forward. Playing forward, Jebison. So, either way, Santi Jimenez, Argentinian, wanted to play for Mexico. Luca Romero is Mexican who wants to play for Argentina. That ain't going to happen. Dude think he's going to pull... Dude thinks he's going to pull a Retegui. So... 13th minute. I'm doing good. 0-0 is the score. Ivory Coast has been solid. How? Well, maybe it's because you're in Suriname and it's on cable. I've never seen Concacaf make a game have to be paid for on their YouTube channel, so that's weird. I guess that means it's just on cable. Bozo did rotate the team. Well, they're fine, so. Fair enough. Playing forward. Jaden Nelson loses the ball. Because I don't know, actually. I'm not even sure. Like, it's hard to take. But then again, when they were going to give Gunther a rematch, I mean, you either make him lose, and then what are you going to do with him? He wasn't in King of the Ring. He doesn't have Money in the Bank. He ain't going to go after John Cena. What are you going to do with him for like 6 months until John Cena screws off? And I say that lovingly. What is he going to do? Like, when he got a rematch with Jay, either he'd beat the shit out of Jay so badly after Jay retained, Seth Rollins would have cashed in and won the World Heavyweight Championship, or Gunther was winning the belt. He won the belt. Like, I don't see what you do with him. So, it was pretty much just the way it is. They needed two faces to wrestle Logan Paul and John Cena. Do with that what you will. I think it was pretty much obvious. I agree. Also, he knows nothing about the U.S. culture. Well, the U.S. is a joke. CONCACAF. Interesting. USA is a joke. I know. I'm not the one who gets mad about 7 goals, though, so... Game starts 7-0 at Yankee Stadium's your championship. That's a flex, though. Yeah, and I think it's more of a gimmick change as well. Like, I think he's being more serious. I like it. I like it. Player down for Canada, 0-0. I like it. I've always wanted R-Truth to be more serious. Exactly. This is World Cup preparation and you suck. Wow. Well, they haven't even played long enough in MLS to... I think that's kind of a bad comparison. Now, Toronto FC, on the other hand, I think you're on the money. But then again, well, Man United sucked for a while. Fergie came in. They became very successful. Then they sucked again. So, we just didn't have the Busby Babes era. We went from suck to awesome to suck. But in between the Busby Babes and Ferguson, they sucked, Man United. And then Ferguson came in. It wasn't 20 years of awesomeness, but still, No, Toronto. Also a horrible front office. A front office that knows nothing about football, just like the Glazers. I'm sure Graham would agree. Toronto FC or Man United. I'm sure he would agree, except 17th minute. Honestly, this U.S. men's national team would lose to the women's team. If I'm being real. Like, I agreed. Like, yeah, the women's team actually deserves to be paid more than the men. I've said this for years. With the U.S. men's national team, I've said this for years, and even Canada to a certain extent. Until recently, but especially, it's still true. The U.S. women should be paid more than the U.S. men because they actually win. For the past, and I said that about Canada at the same time, because for a while, the Canadian women's team was the team that was worth a damn in Canada. They should have been paid more than the Canadian men, but neither of them really probably got paid because the Canadian Soccer Association was a joke. Either way, now they should be paid equally because, honestly, the men, I'd say right now, the men are equal to the woman in Canada. They're both solid. Casey Stoney has a very good team. Jesse Marsh has a very good team. At least they're both equal. When I grew up, the Canadian women's team was the only thing truly worth watching in Canadian football, Canadian soccer. I watched the men. D-Row had his career wasted. Humey honestly had his career wasted. Let's be real. Jimmy Brennan had his career wasted. Let's be real. But what, for the past, 7 years? The Canadian men have pretty much been right there. They've gotten to a point where they're right there with the Canadian women. Yeah, they deserve equal pay because they're both worth a damn. They're both equal. Now, the men should be paid less. The U.S. men should still be paid less than the U.S. women because the U.S. women actually win. I think you should be paid for your performance. See, I think you should be paid for your performance. The U.S. men don't perform. They never had performed. The U.S. women do. They should have always been paid more. I believe you should be paid for your performance. If you don't perform worth a damn, you shouldn't be paid worth a damn. That's what it is for me. And the U.S. men don't perform worth a damn. So, is it a half joke? Yeah, it's also half serious. Still, to this day, golden generation my ass. Golden generation my ass. It was true for Canada, but it isn't anymore. The men and women teams of the Canadian national team should both be paid equally because they're both good. They're both equally good. The Canadian women have dropped off a little bit. The Canadian men have grown very much. Let's remember, for a while there, the Canadian women were the second best team in the world. Let's remember that. When I was growing up, they were the second best team in the world. They just happened to be above the first. They just happened to be bordering the first. Now they're probably about fifth or sixth, but that's still pretty good, though. But the men have had some results where it's like, are they really 30th in the FIFA ranking? I feel like that's harsh. Either way. Deservedly so. Lane Hudson should have won the Calder. He did win the Calder. Deservedly so. 21st minute. 0-0. Canada's playing well. #21st minute. Playing forward. Canada's getting better. They're going into the game. Ivory Coast started well. Free kick, 6-4 Blue Jays. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, the Blue Jays and Cardinals have the same record. I didn't say the Cardinals sucked this year. I didn't think they had the same record. You could also brag about an MLS Cup. 0-0, 22nd minute. I think Canada's going into the game. That's why you don't rotate. But right now, they'd still win the Canadian Shield. So, frankly, Ivory Coast has had their moments, though. Larea with a throw-in. Ivory Coast is still, honestly, they're better than Ukraine. You know what? Nah, I'm going to say it. Ivory Coast is better than Ukraine. Well, Ivory Coast won an AFCON. Ukraine's won nothing. This is true. This is true. This is true. Ivory Coast are the defending AFCON champions. This is true, but they still lost to New Zealand. Well, Ukraine did beat New Zealand, so shit. Well, okay. Yep. I think, yeah. Are you saying that in a good way or a bad way? It sounds kind of like an insult. I'm not saying you did, but you kind of made it sound like an insult. Like, if they're the only solid team in North America, but you're a Mexico fan, shouldn't you be worried about them, though? I know we lost the Nations League, but still. Lightning won't strike twice, right? There's no way. Well, we did well at the Copa. What do you mean, Friendlies FC? Hey, if he gets grouped, he gets fired. I would hope so, at least. Fair enough. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's better. That's better. Gold Cup 2000. I was 2 weeks old. But we have one, though. Canada, 2000 Gold Cup. I was 2 weeks old, and we didn't get a trophy for finishing top of the octo, so technically, I guess not. I say it is. I say it's a trophy, finishing top of the octo. But if you don't, Gold Cup 2000, I was 2 weeks old when they won that. I was alive when it happened. I was 2 weeks old, but hey. Maybe they should do it anyway. Wilfred Nancy. Actually, no, that's a good idea. Wilfred Nancy coaches the crew and the USA till the World Cup's over. That's a good idea. Or Jim Curtin. Actually, no, Jim Curtin makes more sense. He's American. He knows the American culture and a lot of these younger players that play for the USMNT. I don't know. Jim Curtin sounds like a good idea. He has no job. Jim Curtin sounds like an amazing idea, at least for a stopgap. And honestly, he doesn't have to buy players. He can just have them play his system. And he still has the Aaronsons. So, and Quinn Sullivan. We're really going to see an MLS full squad at the World Cup, aren't we? Honestly, I'm not complaining. If they do hire Jim Curtin. Or there's a manager who doesn't have a job who did coach in MLS for a long time, who's very good at knockout tournaments. He used to coach the Timbers. He has a cool scarf. Gio Savarese. He never left the USA. Might as well let him do it. That's also a good pick. Still better than Poch. Damn. At least they get a replacement. 27th minute. Clown of the week? So wait, is the USA the clown of the week? Get out! Pochettino, get out. I got to save that for after the Gold Cup, but, well, I don't. Either way. Well, 27th minute. '28th minute, 0-0. Canada's getting better throughout this game. Nelson, good block out. Dude, he fell. Push! Nah, he fell. He fell. He fell. Brother fell. Oso. Can we get him off the pitch? That'd be out. Canada, Costa Rica. That's Gold Cup, right? Malagon save. No, wait. My bad. No, I think that might be a... No, that might be a woman's friendly. Hold on. No, it is a woman's friendly. Yeah. My bad. Why not? I think it would have been more obvious about it. Isn't there Canadian games at the Gold Cup, though? Watching. Streaming the Cup final games. The Club World Cup final? Yes. The Gold Cup final? Yes. The Leagues Cup final? Yes. The Super Cup? Yes. The Central American Cup final this year? Yes. Every Cup final in Concacaf left this year? Yes, I will. Also the Intercontinental Cup final. Besides, and also the UEFA Super Cup. Now, if I can do the Copa Libertadores final, I might do it. That's like the one question. I might do it. And if the Argos go back to the Grey Cup, but that's the Stanley Cup final. Oh no, there's not enough room. There's too many games. There's too many football matches. I wasn't going to do game one because I can't do a deciding game. Header away. Well, that didn't do anything. 30th minute, be a free kick for Canada. Foul called against Ivory Coast. So no. No, I'm not. Hell, even if the Leafs made it, probably would be hard for me to cover it. And I still think the Club World Cup and Gold Cup will do me better numbers. So, like, you think I'm going to not talk about the Club World Cup? I should say the Club World Cup instead of the... Dude, the Club World Cup's the Club World Cup. But what if it does... What if it does shitty? Well, the Club World Cup's the Club World Cup, you know? It's a once-in-a-lifetime... Well, of course, they're going to keep doing it. But, like, the inaugural Club World Cup is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I mean, the Gold Cup might suck. The numbers of Gold Cup games might suck, especially the minnows versus the minnows in the group stage. But it is what it is. You could stream history. The Club World Cup is history as well. This is a football channel normally, so. Bro, a USA defender just kicked the ball out of his own goalkeeper's hands. I'm about to smash my phone. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. This is worse than the Colombia game last year. The Colombia friendly. Free kick for Ivory Coast. A yellow card for Waterman. And Jesse Marsh like it wasn't a foul. Sure about that? Isn't your girlfriend a Red Bull fan? Dude. It's like if my girlfriend was a Florida Panthers fan, what would be... That's bad. That's like, what's going on here? What's going on here? I mean, yeah. Pepe to take the free kick. I haven't heard of this man since 2020. Well, I mean, Concacaf's full of diarrhea. Just ask the crew in the Vancouver Whitecaps. I didn't say it was a plot. I'm just saying. Ask the Vancouver Whitecaps and the Columbus Crew. There's a lot of diarrhea in Concacaf. Don't drink the water. And no, it's not a plot. It's Montezuma's revenge. Free kick blocked off the wall. That was horrible. Free kick for Canada after the head contact, 33rd minute. Well, Jesse Marsh might as well have said it was a plot. Did you not hear his comments about it? Like, Jesse, you're an awesome coach, but calling the freaking whatever happened a plot? And Wolff kind of did the same last year. Dude, you have no proof, one. Second of all, that's sort of problematic. Third of all, I think you know better than that, Jesse. I didn't watch. True. 1-0 Suriname. Yeah. Let's look at the results. Suriname's beating El Salvador. As of now, El Salvador is going to be eliminated from the World Cup qualifiers. Puerto Rico has a point. Puerto Rico has a goal. They have the lead. Puerto Rico has the lead over St. Vincent. El Salvador. Cornelius. El Salvador is losing to Suriname. Jamilio Richter's assist. So as of now, El Salvador is in trouble. El Salvador is in trouble. They could be eliminated by Puerto Rico in the second round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. El Salvador might not even make the third round. Antonetti with a Puerto Rico goal. El Salvador is being eliminated as we speak. As we speak, El Salvador will be eliminated. They need a draw at the very least to advance. Talk about the U.S. game? 0-0, 35th minute. El Salvador is in trouble. El Salvador is in trouble. I agree. Pass the post. Because that's part of the reason why I know what I know. I don't watch every show. Depends on what's going on. Panama's winning 1-0, but that really doesn't matter what's happening in Group D. El Salvador is about to be eliminated if things keep going the way it is. 0-0 between Trinidad and Costa Rica, 19 minutes in. As of now, Trinidad has an extra point. They have a point above Grenada and still have a 6-goal differential lead. Let's see how this changes. But as of now, they haven't allowed a goal 20 minutes in yet. That's a very good sign that this won't be a bloodletting. Very good sign. Exactly. 37th minute. Jamaica beat Guatemala 3-0. 36th minute. We have Argentina still losing to Colombia 1-0. James Rodriguez gets the last laugh? Maybe. Brazil 0-0 Paraguay. Another draw under Carlo Ancelotti so far. Maybe Brazil just sucks. Maybe Brazil just sucks. Japan beat Indonesia 6-0. Not surprised. Mexico, Turkey, 0-0. Canada, Ivory Coast, 0-0. 38th minute. Goal kick for Dane St. Clair. 2 goals in 2 minutes is how they went down to 4. Jesus. It's got a point. The U.S. MLS players care but suck. The U.S., that is a good point. The U.S. players that play in European leagues don't care, but they're good. That's a good point. This Gold Cup's going to suck. Not for me. Canada's going to win. Not for me. Canada's going to win. It's going to be awesome for me. It's going to be awesome for me. The song was pretty good, yeah. Song was good. I like the message and like the vibe and the melody. It was good. What I put on my playlist, we'll see. If I have no idea what I want to put on my playlist, my daily playlist soon, sure. Offside goal from Mexico. So it's still 0-0. But hey, at least they figured one out. .39th minute, 0-0. So 6 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Jays are still beating the Cardinals. Good. The Jays are on fire right now, man. They may never lose again. Oh, they will. It's baseball. But they keep playing like this for the rest of the year, they might win the World Series. Just saying. Partially, yes, but I just think they have a silver spoon in their mouth. I think the difference with the American players in Europe is they were born in better conditions, as well as the moving to Europe makes them feel like they have a silver spoon in their mouth. But even then, Pulisic grew up with a European passport. He grew up pretty well off, it seems. He didn't grow up tough, as in he didn't grow up having to beat the odds. He kind of had it given to him. There you go. Oh, and also, his father, which, I mean, your father should. If you're famous and your father is known, I mean, yeah, it's fine if he defends you, but also Landon Donovan running his mouth about Pulisic not showing up after him pulling the sabbatical thing. Sure, cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You're a hypocrite. Donovan's a hypocrite. This is why Clint Dempsey, but see, Pulisic's not Clint Dempsey is my point. Clint Dempsey had to work for everything he got, and he still got to Europe. But why was he so good as a USMNT player? He had to work for everything he got. And he did well in Europe for the time because he had to work for everything he got. And he did come back to MLS. But Clint Dempsey, that's what I mean. He had to work for everything he got. He came from rags to riches to a certain extent. Pulisic didn't do that. So, yes. Yes, he does. Yeah, I think Pulisic is privileged, yeah. Fair enough, but I think the Canadian players, when they get to Europe, there's a different mentality there. I don't exactly know what it is, but I think these Canadian players, because they're Canadian, have even more of a chip on their shoulder than America, US. I think the US has been accepted. Like, while before, I think the US has been accepted. Canada's just starting to get to that level of, you know what, we respect you. But these players earn that. Like, I don't think it's comfortable. Part of it is comfortable settings, comfortable upbringings, but I think these players have something to prove. I think these players have a chip on their shoulder. They know they're starting to get respect for their country in football terms, especially on the men's side of the game. Offside by Ivory Coast. I think they know this, and I think they know that any bad look could lose that respect. They don't want to lose the respect Canada's starting to build. They have a chip on their shoulder. They have to succeed. They have to succeed in Europe and for their national team. And even then, players that are in MLS, there seems to be a, if you're good enough, you'll play mentality in Canada. There's not, USA, it's like, if you're in Europe, you have a better chance. If you're in Canada, like, of course, if you're good enough in MLS, you might end up in Europe. Save, that's out for a corner for Canada. Daniel Jebison earns it. I think Canada, it also helps that there is a, if you're good enough, you're going to play mentality. If you're an MLS player who's good enough to play for Canada, you're going to play. If you're a CPL player that's good enough to play, you're going to play. If you're a European player that's good enough to play, well, you're in Europe, but you're not getting a locked-in spot. I also think the starting 11, if you're good enough, you could break into the starting 11 for Canada. It's not locked in like the USA is. If you have your best players, they're going to play. Pulisic is going to play if he goes to a camp for the USA. He's playing. Unless he's injured or doesn't want to show up, he's playing. Alphonso Davies, there's an argument here that Alphonso Davies, he could be outplayed by Sam Adekubi. He could be outplayed by Richie Laryea. He may not start. He still has to earn his spot, even though he has the armband. When he's healthy, he still needs to earn it. So I think well, yeah, that's a good point. But because Pulisic is the guy, corner for Canada, ball crossed in. Shot, Laren misses. Man, we need Promise David wide. Goal kick, 45th minute. Man, I want to see Promise David play again. But I do believe that Canada has more of a chip on their shoulder. I believe there's more competition for spots. I believe that Canada wants to win for each other. Like, they want to gain the respect that they've earned and keep the respect they've earned around the world. The USA, they're on the verge of squandering everything they've earned. They're a bunch of tattooed millionaires, soft tattooed young millionaires who think what Landon Donovan and Clint Dempsey created for them will never go away. It can, though. You just gain respect to piss it away, you know. I think the mentality in the USA is totally wrong. And they don't feel competition for their spots because even if an MLS player comes in to replace them and they play well, they're probably not winning that spot. Like, I don't see Christian Pulisic losing a spot. Like, if Brennan Aronson has an amazing gold cup, which I don't know if he will, but let's just say he does, I don't see Pulisic losing his spot. They'll be like, oh, Pulisic's back. Sorry, Brendan, you go back on the bench. Patrick Aguimang. They're already talking about, well, you know what? He didn't do well in this window. We still don't have a striker. Like, that's the only competition, and they can't. Even the MLS guys, they're a little bit harder on, especially the pundits. Patrick Aguimang is a very good striker. Is he good enough to play European teams? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they're right. But he's still better than Balogun, right? Vinny scored. Well, good for him. 47th minute. Peru versus Ecuador just started. Brazil, Paraguay, 44th minute. Netherlands 8-0 Malta. Well, I'm not surprised. The Netherlands are good. So, well, I mean, at this point, looks like a good chance they will. Looks like a good chance they will. It's gotten worse. No, something's changed. The U.S. has gotten worse. 2022 USA is better than the current USA. 2022 World Cup USA is better than Copa USA. It's gotten worse. I still don't think Berhalter is that good of a coach, but it's gotten worse. The mentality's screwed. 48th minute. Cross in. Header. Save. That's a corner. You got a problem. Change your fucking coach. People have been saying the mentality's fucked. No, it isn't. Speak to my players. I have it printed out. I have it printed out. I would say it was a shoot. But see, there's no USA player who's going to pull what Ronaldinho pulled. And honestly, I think the USA deserves it more than Brazil did. 48th minute. Like, I want to see Clinton Dempsey rip this freaking U.S. team to shreds because he's the guy who deserves to say it. Like, Clinton Dempsey was a dog. Clinton Dempsey is still a dog. That man busted his ass. Like, he should be insulted with what's going on with U.S. soccer. Why? The U.S. men's national team. He should be insulted. I want to hear him just lay it all out there. Like, stop being scared. Just lay it all out there. If Clint Dempsey shits on this team, people will listen because I think a lot of people agree Clint Dempsey is a dog. That man busted his ass to do as much as he could for the national team. Clint Dempsey, I think, is loved because of the way he played the game of football. Because of how tough he was, how strong he was, how much of a hard worker he was. Hell, even Europeans love Clint Dempsey. Even if you aren't a Fulham fan. People respect Clint Dempsey, which is, for a USA player, the way he played, I respect it. I respect it. People respect what Clint Dempsey is. He needs to do what Ronaldinho did to the Brazil squad. He needs to. We're all saying it. He needs to do it. Because he's still playing. That's why they're predicting Portugal to win. Because look at all these players in Europe. That means something. It's all these damn Euro snobs who are like, Europe's better than MLS. Hate to tell you, the U.S. men's national team did better when there were a lot of MLS players who busted their ass. These players don't bust their ass. It's the mentality. Halftime, 0-0 between Canada and Ivory Coast. As of now, Canada would win the Canadian Shield. 0-0 at the half. They've gotten better as the games went on. We got another 45 minutes. You know who I think would be a better coach? Who? I mean, shaded Ajimang isn't right, but fair enough. These friendlies are supposed to prepare for the World Cup. Even if you don't want to play the big boys at the Gold Cup, you take them to these friendlies, play them, and then do the Gold Cup B team shit. But no, you just said, hey, B team, play all this shit. C team, maybe. I mean, sure. I think so, yes. I think so. That's their first game. Yeah, I'm doing a double live, double review on that first day of the Gold Cup and Club World Cup because Miami plays the same day. Diego Luna should still be playing. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, he should be. I mean, he hasn't lost anything until the Nations League. I mean, that's fair. Probably got a little bit more humble, but no, I did not. I agree. I mean, yeah, MLS players still might be a little bit out of their depth against the European teams, especially a team full of them. Do I think Aguimang will do better at the Gold Cup? Yes. Do I think Diego Luna, if the USA is going to go deep, is Diego Luna going to be a big reason why? For sure. For sure. But, I know. Miami plays before Mexico. Miami and Al Ahly play before Mexico. So I'll be live for that. I'll keep the live stream going into the Mexico game. And then once both are over, I'll review both in the same video, a double review, because the timing is a little bit too tight. But yeah, the only Gold Cup game is Mexico, Dominican Republic. You still have Miami versus Al Ahly before that. But I'll do both. Exactly. Honestly, if they fire Poch, you know what? Yeah, Dempsey being the manager would be great. Up until the World Cup, the interim manager, I think Dempsey would be amazing. I think Dempsey would show these players how to think. I don't know about his tactics, but the mentality is most of the problem. If they learn from Dempsey how to have a better mentality, I think they're better off. I'm not saying golden generation, but they're not going to be embarrassed. Hell, give him an assistant who's better at tactics. But Dempsey, the head man, would be so good for their mentality. Keep a guy for tactics. Or if you want to keep Pochettino, have Dempsey be the assistant head coach, the mentality coach. Don't let Poch do a team talk, though. But if you're going to get rid of Poch, Dempsey, the head coach, assistant coach. Landon Donovan wasn't bad. That wouldn't work, though. They'd probably chop each other's heads off. I don't know. Somebody tactical, but yeah, Dempsey being the interim head coach after Poch gets shot to the sun, that'd be good. If it's that bad. I mean, I don't think it's all Greg Vanney, but honestly, oh, no. Trying to figure out who would be a free assistant. I don't know if Jim Curtin would do it. That's the problem. That might be the best play. Donovan for the tactics, Dempsey for the motivation. Yeah. Clint at the head of it, though. Good. Moise Bombito. Edson's a CDM, so do with that what you will. Edson Alvarez is a CDM. Do with that what you will. Moise Bombito. Cesar Montes is getting up there. Moise Bombito. I don't trust Greg Vanney. I think he's a fraud. Like, yeah, thank you for the treble and all, but you're a fraud. Thank you for the Concacaf final. Thank you for the 3 MLS Cup finals, but that was Sebastian Giovinco. You didn't do shit. Dude, you didn't do shit. Hell, that MLS Cup with the Galaxy, that was Ricky Pooge. You didn't do shit. I didn't think it would get this bad, but Vanney's a fraud. Like, the grass is only greener for Toronto because we're so damn bad. But if there's a coach who actually starts winning for them, Vanney will probably be looked at as what he is. You call the Pirate, Vanney will be looked at as what he is. Thank you for the trophy you won, but you're a fraud. Thank you for a trophy you won, but you're a fraud that was carried by Sebastian Giovinco, Alejandro Pozuelo, Josie Altidore, and Ricky Pooge. It is what it is. I'm sorry. It is what it is. It's true. Sebastian Giovinco carried that guy. Josie carried that guy. Pozuelo carried that guy for 2 years. Bradley, honestly, Bradley might have carried him too. I wouldn't put Bradley up there as high. Ricky Puig carried him last year and the year they made the playoffs before they won the Cup, 2022. Ricky Puig carried him. Greg Vanney has to have a world-class star, something MLS world-class, to win. Guess what? Ricky Puig blew out his damn knee. He ain't playing. What happened? 1 win all year. There it is for you. There it is right there, black and white. Exactly. But you could say that about Mexico as well. Johan Vasquez is better than Bombito. Wrong. 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 With that being said, we'll take a short break at the half, talk about the stats, get this one going, sit tight, 0-0. See how the second half goes. We're back for the stats at the half. Mexico scored at the last second. Orbelín Pineda. Orbelín scored. You gotta be. Lord. All right. against Turkey at the half of all teams. Good job, Orbelin. You're better than the USA. Good job. With that being said, stats of the half. 42% possession to 58% possession. 2 shots to 5. 0 shots on goal to 1. We have 97% or 97 accurate passes, 71% to 157, 81%. 9 fouls, 9. 2 corners to 3. 2 shots to 5. 137 passes. Well, we'll get there. 0 shots on goal to 1. We have 137 passes to 195, 71% pass accuracy to 81% pass accuracy. 11 throws to 12. 2 offside to 1, 2 yellow cards to 0, 0 red cards, 0, 0-0 at the half. Canada's grown into this game. I think Ivory Coast started hot. I think Turkey's crashing out, but a goal's a goal. Fair enough. With that being said, I think Canada's grown into the game. I think Ivory Coast started better. I think they started with more possession, more plays forward. I think Canada has grown into this match. I think they haven't scored yet, but they've had more possession. They've controlled some of the game. They've defended very well. Ivory Coast, I'd still say, is a slightly better team so far in this game. But Canada, they're solid right now. Could be better. Could be worse. Right now, Canada would win the Canadian Shield with this result. You would hope that things get a little bit more better for Canada. Thiago Almada just tied the game up for Argentina. Former Atlanta United, Thiago Almada. Second half about to start. First half ends for Mexico. Speaking of Concacaf qualifier results as of the halftime, Segura coming on for Canada. Good. We have El Salvador 1-1 against Suriname. El Salvador, disaster has been averted for the time being. At the half, they have a 1-1 draw. That would put them through the next round. Costa Rica is only beating Trinidad 2-0. As of now, that would advance Trinidad to round 3. Honduras, Antigua, Barbuda starts in 10 minutes. I'll say Canada tops their group. What about you? At the Gold Cup, for sure. World Cup, well, we don't even know what they got yet, but we'll see what happens, depending on who they get. But we'll talk about that in December, because I think the draw is December, right? But El Salvador, as of now, will qualify to the third round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. As of now, Trinidad would qualify as well, right at halftime. Panama winning 2-0, right about to be full-time in their game. Canada's second half, here we go. Argentina 1-1 Colombia. Brazil 1-0 Paraguay. 0-0 between Ecuador and Peru. Vinicius Jr. scored for Brazil over Paraguay. Ancelotti has his first goal of his era of Brazilian football, and it's from Vinicius, the man he's been coaching for years. Doesn't that make any sense? Also, he has Casemiro in the starting 11, who he coached for a while. So, funny. Did he coach Alexandro as well? I don't know. He didn't. Ancelotti was never at Juventus. No. Well, I guess he finally did. Second half about to start. Hey, that's football for you. Sometimes you have a better percentage of shots even though you have less shots. That's football for you. USA about to lose 4-0 to Switzerland. And you could honestly say Switzerland, what's the word? Pulled off the gas. What a horrible friendly window for the USA. They still have the Gold Cup, though. It's not over for Canada, Mexico, or the USA. They still have the Gold Cup. Of course, also the Concacaf teams are playing qualifiers. They still have a Gold Cup. Football's a weird sport. Orbelín Pineda may be a wizard. Second half about to start. Here we go. 45 more minutes for this game. That is true. Yes, they could have won 8-0. Canada to kick off the second half. Here we go. Canada going automatically forward. Not yet. One Soccer's thumbnail said goal. Not yet. Looked like it's going 4-0. It's the 89th minute. Yep. Canada still 0-0. Headed away. Out for a Canadian throw. We got halftime. El Salvador, Suriname. 45 plus 8. Yep, the half just ended. 3-0 Panama. Halftime between Costa Rica and Trinidad. 2-0 Costa Rica. As of now, Trinidad would still advance. Ain't pretty, but I agree. '46th minute. Ivory Coast has the ball. Segura is on for, well, he came on at the half. Playing forward. Over the top. Jaden Nelson will not get there. Saved by Sangare. 46-minute goal kick. I mean, fair enough. Orbelín Pineda scored a goal, so. And Sepulveda is solid. Santi finally scored. I mean, as things are going, maybe Mexico finally actually has good forwards. You know what? I'm still not afraid of Orbelín. Alexi Vega. Raul Jimenez, yeah, I'm afraid of. Santi, if he starts scoring. But, okay, their depth scoring can kind of score. Cornelius. I mean, Raul's still running, so. Yeah, I guess so. It's because Raul Jimenez is there, but fair. Playing forward, 47th minute. Yeah, that was the play-in. That was the same play-in that Canada played Trinidad the same day. The Copa America play-in. The repechaje for the Copa America. Canada played Trinidad and won to get in last year. And then Honduras played Costa Rica, and Costa Rica won. Which that was something I did not expect at all. But Okay, Quinones is pretty good. So, yeah, Quinones, Raul, and Santi is pretty good. Vega, good. Chino, eh. To answer my question. What's your question? Yes. Yes. I don't see a question. Yeah, sort of. But still got a bullshit 10-minute video about this game to a certain extent. Throw in for Canada, 50th minute. Got knocked down off the ball. Stoppage of play. Buffon 87 on the stay icon. Cool. Larea got subbed off for Segor. Damn it. That's not good. And it might have been for an injury. Damn it. Is Larea injury prone now? Damn it. Check my question. I answered it. Yeah, the referee should halt the play. Yes. Free kick for Canada. 50th minute. Cross in. Blocked away. Top of the box for Jaden Nelson. Jaden Nelson. There was no way he was going to shoot that or get anything out of it. I'm not even mad about it. Oso. Good pickup, Oso. Here comes Kone. Still Ishmael Kone. Blocked. Cleared away from the top of the box. Back to Oso. Jaden Nelson. Ali Ahmed with a block shot. Attack goes down the other way for Ivory Coast. Cross blocked away. Cross. That's going to go out for a throw. No, it'll be kept in. They rotated. They put Kyle Laren up top. I think we know why. Goal. Wide. No, it went wide. Goal kick. Pepe heads it wide. If it was anybody else, that would have went in. 51st minute, getting to the 52nd. No, it went wide. I thought that went in. It would have went in if it was anybody else, but Pepe, of course it goes wide. I mean, they rotated a good bit of their squad. No Promise David, it's harder for them to score. No Jonathan David, it's harder for them to score. Kyle Laren and Daniel Jebison, especially Laren, ain't that good. Jebison, if you played him with David, he might get something. No Buchanan. I mean, they rotated a good bit. Which, I mean, I get it, but exactly. Rotation definitely helps. Jaden Nelson, Daniel Jebison. Jebison, cross in, save. See ya, Sean. 53rd minute. Definitely doesn't help that Mariah May's new name is Blake Monroe. I don't like it. I don't like it. I hope she chose it herself. I would hope she chose that herself because I don't like that at all. 53rd minute. 53rd minute. playing forward. Here comes Pepe. Pepe once again. Pepe. Waterman. Pepe! Good block. Somehow that got blocked. That would have been better. Mariah Monroe would have been better. And it would still been a WWE IP name. Honestly, yeah, they should have just done Mariah Monroe. Yeah, sure. She kind of does look like Marilyn Monroe. You know, Mariah Monroe, Mariah from Mariah May, Marilyn Monroe. Kind of looks like Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, yeah. You know what? That would have made more sense. I'm sure the Monroe part of Blake Monroe comes from Marilyn Monroe. I'm sure of that. 55th minute. Canada defending well. I mean, getting Fubo TV just to watch a league isn't too smart, but you have everything else. I mean, the good thing about that is you still have everything else. That's a good point. Yeah, sure. Do the 1 week trial first, though. Yes, Alex. 55th minute. Blocked away. Can we put on some of our better players for like the last 30 minutes? I'm not surprised. I don't blame him at all. Like, what's the point? I understand it that he did. I mean, shit, it was 4-0. USA really, they looked bad and they also didn't care. Or, well, I would say they cared, but Karen didn't change a thing. Cross in, header by Cornelius to get it out. Kone heads it backwards. Jebison doesn't get to the ball, but he does. Kinda, but not enough. 55th minute. You don't usually do it when TFC plays like shit. It would be weird to see you do that. I never have. I've never left a stream early. Only when I need to jump onto the next game, I should say. I've never left a stream early because of a result. Now, to jump into the next game, to set up the game and get it going, if it's like, yeah, I do. But that's normally when there's playoffs and extra time's a possibility, and I don't know if it's going to happen, and I got to stay to my schedule. But, like, results? No. And I'm back like 3 minutes later. I mean, I root for shit teams. Like, I chose this. I chose this. Like, I might be a masochist. I'm not sure. I chose the Leafs. I've never left a Leafs game early. I've chose TFC. I've never stopped a TFC game early. I chose Mississippi State. I've never... Right. I root for shit teams. Canada, well, they're not shit, but they used to be. Never in the YouTube era, though. Well, shot saved by Dane St. Clair. That would have been a free kick either way. Yeah, Lewis is right about Poch. He was right, 100%. But, I mean, I root for shit teams. So, I may be a masochist. I don't know. TFC, Leafs, Mississippi State, especially them three. Especially Mississippi State as an athletic school. Especially football and basketball, but even baseball at this point. So all the sports state play. Jebison. Oh, they missed that foul. Funnily. Jebison. Still. Jebison. Out for a goal kick. Because they didn't want to. They just thought, oh, Pochettino. Wow, that's awesome. Yep. Exactly. Oh, I almost forgot Ferrari. I am a Ferrari Tifosi in F1. How, like, they are heartbreaking to watch. Like, I am a Ferrari Tifosi, and the shit that they pull. Like, they're making me like Lewis Hamilton. Like, Lewis Hamilton is called Ferrari out on their shit. I'm starting to like Lewis Hamilton. Also, the parts of Drive to Survive that Lewis Hamilton's been really a part of, and he's cooler than I thought. He's not Jeff Gordon of F1. He's actually a cool guy. Lewis, I misjudged Lewis. I misjudged Lewis Hamilton. I misjudged him. Free kick for Ivory Coast. Yellow card for Kone. You know, I misjudged him. I thought he was the freaking, not Lewis, Jeff Gordon of F1, and I hate Jeff Gordon's guts. Jeff Gordon is still a pretentious asshole. I'm not changing on that. But, I don't blame you. Concacaf refereeing sucks. Lewis Hamilton is not as pretentious as I thought he was. He's a lot more down to earth than I thought he was. And also, he's calling Ferrari on their shit. So, when he did that, he started gaining me as a fan. Then I started watching Drive to Survive. And you know what? I misjudged Lewis. He's not pretentious. And I guess he hasn't won championships, so over the past couple of years. It's funny, I wanted Max to beat Lewis. Now I hate Max's guts and I like Lewis. Jesus Lord, what's happened? It wasn't just because he went to Ferrari, but then things have changed. Lewis is not as pretentious as I thought he was. I thought he was a pretentious foul. Okay, goal kick. Exactly. So basically, no, I root for shit teams. I root for teams that break my heart. Except for, well, yeah, Patriots. But even then, they suck now, too. 60th minute. TFC, Ferrari, leaves, State. Like, I am horrible at picking things. It's going to be, I think it's a penalty. Well, at least all they need is a draw. Sangare is down. 61st minute. I think this might be a penalty for... No, Kessier got a yellow for dissent. Nope. He got a yellow for dissent. Speaking of F1, shootout Boca. No, I'm good. 61st minute. Speaking of F1, we'll have to wait for a while for proof, but I'm told the Canadian Grand Prix is only set to clash with Indy 500 once every 5 years. Louis Shea and Chouanier coming on for Osorio, and your loss. Poch is a straight fraud. 62nd minute. '62nd minute. I think actually Clinton Dempsey, the ideas we've thrown around, I think Clinton Dempsey might actually be the best. Free kick for Dane St. Clair. Brings it down. Jebison, what are you doing, man? Get it to Alua Shea. Osorio and Laren are off for Alua Shea and Chouanier. What's the best trophy Poch has ever won? He hasn't won a trophy. I guess it's the Audi Cup, if people count that. Going to a Champions League final. That's the best trophy. Going to the Champions League final. Or the Audi Cup, I guess. Oh, wait. He won one with PSG. Oh, you're supposed to win those. Ligue 1. Oh, I forgot about that. He won Ligue 1 with PSG. I forgot about that. Yeah. I forgot about that. You're supposed to win those. So, whatever. Yeah, no. I asked that to show how overrated he is. Well, technically, he won Ligue 1. But you're supposed to win those with PSG. PSG winning the Champions League was big. He also lost it once. Oh, yeah, to Lille. Oh, yeah. He lost it to Jonathan David. Oh, yeah, he lost it to Jonathan David. Yeah. He didn't even win it both times. Yeah, that's true. He lost it to Jonathan David. Speaking of, still hasn't been subbed on, Jonathan David. 64th minute, 0-0. Jonathan David. Jim Curtin makes the most sense. They fire Potch. Or Clint Dempsey. Or Jim Curtin with Clint Dempsey as his assistant, but Clint Dempsey is the mentality manager. So do with that what you will. Huh. Playing forward, free kick, 65th minute. Yeah. I think he's overrated. Yeah, I think Seth's overrated. But he didn't have that theme song. This freaking gimmick would be a joke. I agree. Free kick for Ivory Coast, 65th minute. It's the theme song. It's the theme song. Yeah, fire Potch. I agree. Yeah, fire him. Fire! Get out! Get out! Get out, Potch! Get out! 65th minute. Get out! '66th minute. Here comes Canada. Good tackle, but that'll be picked up. Fire Pochettino. Get out! Playing forward. Clown of the week. We haven't given out Clown of the Week this week, have we? Clown of the Week! It already is. I need to see nothing more. Clown of the Week! Even Messi won't win Clown of the Week. That's how bad you are. That's how bad you are, Pochettino. Even Messi won't win Clown of the Week. Throw in for Canada. Get out! Blue Jays are winning. Bottom of the ninth, 10-6. 1 out. Come on, boys. How's that not a yellow? 67th minute. I'm not sure. The referee sucks. Just get the freaking win. Come on, boys. 67th minute. Way too many fouls from Soyuncu. Pepe is off for Boga. 67th minute. Yeah, Canada's playing at BC Place during the Gold Cup. Yep. Huh. Canada, what are you doing? Get it away, Chouanier. Get it. Wait, no, that's not. That was Segura. Chouanier just had the ball. Didn't he wear 23? Yeah. That's why I got confused. One strike. 67th minute. Kone. As of now, Canada would still win the Canadian Shield. Good bounce. Good pass. Ivory Coast. Two strikes for that's out for a throw. Should be a Canada throw. Yep. 68th minute. We got 0-0. Playing forward. Agreed. We also called up those players for the Gold Cup. And we're also about to, well, that's shameless, but we're about to win the Canadian Shield, which is a trophy. It's not the trophy I want this summer, but it is a trophy. It is a trophy. 69th minute. 1-2. Yellow card. 68 minutes. Yeah, that's a foul. In play outs. Guillagon gets yellow card 69th minute. Seeing Raul Jimenez in the form he's in is awesome. Free kick. Yoel Pozo popped out to Andres Jimenez. 1 out away for a Blue Jays win. Jebison. Dear God, he's overrunning the ball. Swear to God, dude. Jebison is just... He's pushing it a little bit too much. He's pushing it a little bit too much. He's pushing it a little bit too much. Just pushing it a little bit too much. 70th minute. 20 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Oh, good tackle, but no ball retrieved. Push the ball forward. Kone. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Good play. Jaden, what were you doing? Free kick for Canada. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Canada's a top 20 team. Canada's a top 20 team in the world. I agree. I don't think they're top 30. I think they're top 20. I think the FIFA rankings are bullshit. I'd push top 15. I'd push top 15 to be real. I pushed top 15. Boom for Trinidad. Well, that's what they needed. They needed a goal. And boom for Trinidad. It's 2-0. Did they get one? Levi Garcia got hurt. No, they didn't get a goal. Boom for Trinidad. Boom. At least it's only 2-0, 59th minute. Could be worse. Free kick. But he's in Europe. Low Europe, but he's there. But he's underrated, I agree. They did score. Okay, they did. 2-1 Trinidad. That really saves their ass. That gives them a goal back on their goal differential, +9. So now it's got to be, what, 7-1 to get eliminated? 7-1 or something like that? Yeah, they'll be fine. 72nd minute. It's not a bloodletting, and they got a goal. They will advance by goal differential to the next round. Well, they still got 30 minutes to play, but they're not allowing, what, 6 goals? 5 or 6 goals? No. With 30 minutes, they won't. They got it. I think they're going to advance. +9, there you go. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have to allow 5 more goals just to, and they've scored more, so it's actually 6. Actually, if they have to allow 6 more goals to get eliminated because they've scored more than Grenada. So by goals scored, they would still advance. Because I think it's goal differential, goals scored, and then goals allowed. They still have more goals scored. So as long as you don't allow 6 goals, you're going to advance to the next round. Even if you lose, over the top, out for a goal kick. So if you're Trinidad, so you're good there. El Salvador and Suriname is still a 1-1 draw, 57th minute. So as of now, El Salvador would advance with this draw. Honduras and Antigua Barbuda is 0-0, but Honduras was going through, Antigua's out. You got to do better than that, though. Let's see. St. Kitts. No, that wasn't today. So 2-1 Trinidad, 2-1 Costa Rica over Trinidad, but Trinidad should advance with that goal. That was what they needed. They needed some like that. Tejan coming on and Jonathan David coming on for Canada. That's good. That'd be nice. Let's get the goal. Levi Garcia scored a goal that probably puts Trinidad on to the next round. Good. 73rd minute. Yes, Alex. Just realized something. What? 73rd minute. Good tackle. Jebison pushing forward. Still Jebison. Still Jebison. Still Jebison. Man, he's got too much power on his foot, man. His passes are just, 61st minute. As of now, Canada would still win the Canadian Shield. 73rd minute. The Concacaf World Cup round 3 qualifiers round 3 draws Thursday. Oh Lord. Oh no. Oh no. He gonna start a war. Nelson. Jebison. Atakubi. Kone. 74th minute. David and Buchanan will be coming on. Playing forward. 74th minute. As of now, Canada would still win the Canadian Shield with this draw. Cornelius. Hell, even a 1-0 loss, they'd still win it. Wouldn't surprise me. Anthony better be at the All-Star game. The GOAT. Anthony is the raw version of Denny Bawonga. These should be the 2 subs. Yes. Tajon Buchanan on for Jaden Nelson is a sub. And Jonathan David coming on for Daniel Jebison. No promise David tonight, but it's 15 minutes. Can we see a Jonathan David goal? Tajon and David, I need to see some work here. Subs for the Ivory Coast. 3 subs for the Ivory Coast. Guillagon's coming off. Looks like Latte Loth is coming on. The Atlanta United man looks like he's coming on. '76 minute. Diamande is on. We have Guillagon, Guesan, and Sangare coming off for Gabane, Latilath, and Diamande. 76 minute. So Canada and Ivory Coast make subs at that stoppage. Oh no, bad giveaway by Kone. Bad giveaway. But Ali Ahmed's right there to pick it up. Good job. Aluashei. Gets a touch for one of the first times all night. Here comes Atakubi. Blocked. Corner for Canada. 77th minute. Oh, Atakube got the Canada armband on. Here comes Canada. Atakubi. Or Kone. Didn't see most of that 8. Blocked in. Wide. Keeper gets a goal kick. 77th minute. So tomorrow we have our Gold Cup predictions. Wednesday or Thursday, we have the Gold Cup or the Concacaf World Cup qualifier 3rd round draw. And then the video will be the recap of round 2 and how did my predictions go for that. And talking about the draw for round 3. Recapping the draw for round 3. Speaking of, we didn't even check that. Cardinals win. Or Jays win, my bad. The Jays beat the Cardinals. Wilson Contreras hit a 3-run home run, but it's 10-9 Blue Jays. The Blue Jays get away with it. Ali Ahmed. My bad. Wilson Contreras did hit a home run, though. But the Jays still won by a run. 78th minute. Jays win. My bad. Jays win. +5 ahead in the wild card, which means the Jays are top of the wild card. Yeah, the Jays are top of the wild card. You add on another game. they won. So that'd be June 11th. 36. Or are they already there? Throw in for Ivory Coast, 78th minute. No, you add 37. 37-30. 37-30 for the Blue Jays. Yes. I'm doing the Miami game. I'll be doing a good bit of Club World Cup games. Red card. And the Ivory Coast coach gets sent off. 79th minute. This is going off the damn rails. But I'm going to, there'll be World Cup, Gold Cup games I do and Club World Cup games I do. I'm going to try to do as much, what's the word? Fairness with my picks. I'll do both finals. So don't worry, I'm doing a good bit though. Red card for an assistant for the Ivory Coast. Yeah, that was... This, however, guys, trying to find a way. Free kick for Canada, 80th minute, 10 minutes to go. They will still win the Canadian Shield with this result. Is it pretty? No, not at all. Yes. Yes. The Kansas City game. Toronto versus Kansas City 2018, Toronto versus Columbus 2019, Toronto versus Nashville 2021. All away games. The 81st minute. Honestly, the thing that sucks is McDonald's. Like, McDonald's Latin America has F1 cars with their meals. Like, F1 car models with their meals. I would totally go to McDonald's if I could get that here. Like, I would go to McDonald's again and get that meal for that F1 car model or whatever. If it was here. I would do that. Like, I don't like McDonald's much anymore, but if it means I can get, like, model F1 cars... I would do that. I would do that. Are you referring to the Latin American McDonald's having the F1 stuff? Like, I agree. Luc de Fougereau coming on for Canada. I am so jealous. I'm so jealous. It's because F1 the movie, but the F1 movie looks promising. I'll say that. Yeah, I think it looks good as well. And yes. Atakubi's coming off hurt. Ah, come on. Luc de Fougereau for Atakubi. 82nd minute. Damn it. That's not a good injury. And if Larea's hurt, that's not good either. Atakubi and Larea? Ah, Lord. What's with Larea being so injury prone now? Like, ever since he's came back to Toronto. It could just be Toronto being Toronto. Yeah, that's true. You would think he'd be okay with Canada. I don't know. He is getting older, though. Yeah. Yep. I hope it's not that bad, but if they're walking him off, they're walking Atakube off, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. 83rd minute. They had to put in Luc de Fougereau to play that spot. That's a bad sign. I mean, Zoran Basong, but he didn't really look good. As long as it's not Marcus Godinho, sure. I mean, Zachary Brault-Guillard's been solid at times ever since the Haiti situation. Like, ever since the Haiti shit show, Brault-Guillard's kind of built himself back into a plug-and-play player who does well when needed. And if he gets called up, he'll go. I still never want to see Marcus Godinho wear a Canada shirt ever again. I know he did at the U20s, but in 2021, but no. Hasn't since. Good. I don't think so, no. I don't remember it. I agree. Like, Zachary Broguiar's had his moments. Like, yeah, he was partially to blame during that Haiti fiasco in 2019. Godinho was more to blame, but Broguiar was a little bit to blame. He had his problems with it during that fiasco against Haiti in 2019. Still won't forget how bad Godinho was during that game. That was sad. Saliba's a midfielder. They don't give Knight LaBelle a chance. That's wild. 84th minute. 0-0. Playing forward. Oh, this might be bad. Segor gets back. Free kick for Ivory. No, it's a goal kick, actually. Okay, 85th minute. Speaking of, let's look at results through CONCACAF. 73rd minute, 2-1 Costa Rica. Still 0-0 between Honduras and Antigua Barbuda. Still 1-1 between Suriname and El Salvador in the 70th minute. But Puerto Rico's drawing St. Vincent. So right now, El Salvador is lucky. I wouldn't give up a goal if I was El Salvador. But Puerto Rico is drawing St. Vincent. So even if you did give up a goal, as long as Puerto Rico holds the draw, you'd still advance. Free kick for Canada. So that's good news for them. St. Vincent's now on 4 points. Puerto Rico's now on 5. El Salvador can't afford a loss as of now. But I wouldn't press it. I'd sit with a draw, hopefully. Suriname did rotate. That's the good news. 86th minute. Well, for El Salvador. Also, El Salvador is hosting in Del Cuscatlán, so that's good news as well. Lundvik scored Heel. Brian Heel tied it back up, and that's where we are now. 0-0, 86th minute. Paraguay, Brazil still 1-0. Peru, Ecuador 0-0. Mexico 1-0 Turkey. He scored again. '86th minute. Canada's about to win the Canadian Shield if they could just hold on for 4 minutes plus stoppage time or score a goal. Well, even a 1-0 loss wouldn't be bad enough, but Canada looks to be winning the Canadian Shield. The first ever Canadian Shield. Could be better. Could be worse. They finally upgraded it. Okay. Blue Jays are a game ahead in the wild card. 37-30. They're a game ahead in the wild card. Tejan over the bar. He had to go. Blue Jays are still second in the AL East, and they're 2 wins behind the New York Yankees. 5 losses behind them, though. So 87th minute. There you go. Playing forward, 88th minute. So, with that being said, yeah, the Jays are the leader of the wild card right now by a game. Minnesota second, Tampa Bay third in the wild card for the American League as of now. Now, it's still only June, but could be worse. 88th minute. I'm just glad Canada isn't losing. 88th minute. Good steal by DeFugero. Luke DeFugero goes down. Free kick for Canada. Yellow card. 88th, getting to the 89th minute. Canada holding the draw. That's out. 89th minute. Trinidad red card. Never a red. Ref spin poor. Ay. That's not good news. 77 minutes. The good news is it's Alvin Jones got a second yellow. Well, was it a yellow though? 89th minute. Good news is it's only 87, 13 minutes plus stoppage time. There's no way they get 6 goals scored on them in 13 minutes, right? Less than 20 minutes. There's no way, right? There's no way. '90th minute. There's no way, right? Good tackle. Oh. Be a free kick. 90th minute for Ivory Coast. Six minutes of stoppage time between Canada and a draw, and also the Canadian Shield. Playing forward. Blocked. Luc de Fougereau. Still Luc de Fougereau. Good pass. Ish. They did kind of jump it, though. 91st minute. It's out for a throw-in. Throw-in for Ivory Coast. 91st minute. Substitution for Ivory Coast. Zogba. Zogba's coming on with 5 minutes to go. I see they finally moved the Titantron at BMO Field. They finally moved the Titantron. I see it. Brought down. 91st minute. Good block by Ali Ahmed, but that'll be cleared. That's wrong. Like, no. Like, if you're pro-life, you shouldn't be pro the murder of immigrants. That's just, you got to be ideologically consistent. Like, you can't be pro-life, but then call for the murder of immigrants because you're anti-life in that case. Like, if you're truly pro-life, like, they should still have a life, even if you want them to be moved because they illegally immigrated. They should still have a life. Calling for immigrants to be killed is just beyond the pale. Whether they're, of course, legal or illegal, that's beyond the pale, especially if you call yourself pro-life, which I'm sure the people calling for that are pro-life. One, you got to be ideologically consistent. Second of all, whether they do get deported or not, whether they're here legally or illegally, they deserve a life. They deserve a life. They can get deported, but if they did break the laws and they're illegal, but they deserve a life. That's just beyond the pale. 0-0. There's some things that deserve the death penalty. Like, you take somebody's life, especially premeditated, you deserve to. Yeah, no, that's death penalty. Like, there are things that deserve death penalty. Immigration's not one. And I'm sure what they meant was not educated. That they just meant extra military, which is even worse. I mean, there are things that deserve. Is Mexico the best team in CONCACAF? No. Canada. 94th minute, 2 minutes to go. Like, really, premeditated murder? Now, I think anybody could agree. You get convicted for that. Plays forward. Shot wide. That was just Raul Jimenez. That's a fair point, though. Yes, that is a fair point. That is a fair point. But I think, you know what? I do believe that there should be a higher standard of guilt for a death penalty. Like, for the death penalty to be used. Like, you can't just say, yep, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Like, regular standard guilt's fine to put somebody in prison. You have to be overwhelmingly guilty to get in my opinion, get the death penalty. In my opinion. But exactly. Well, but also the people who actually cold-blooded murder people, well, you shouldn't do something you can't take back, right? So it's the same thought process. '96th minute. So you could have the same thought process about cold-blooded murder. '96th minute, full time, 0-0. Canada wins the Canadian Shield with a 0-0 draw. I'll take it. Solid defensive play by a rotated team. I'll take it. 0-0. Oh, wait. Do we have a penalty shootout? Oh, we're going to have a penalty shootout, I think. Oh, Lord. Oh, we're going to have a penalty shootout. Okay, actually, we have a penalty shootout. It's like Leagues Cup. We go to a penalty shootout. I think FIFA still treated it as a tie no matter what. For the FIFA rankings, yes. But for this table, for the Canadian Shield, a penalty shootout winner gets 2 points. The penalty shootout loser gets a point. So we both have a point. Canada has 4 points. Ivory Coast has 1. That would still win us this tournament. We will still win this tournament. We are still winning this tournament. But can we win with 5 points instead of 4 is the question. A penalty shootout win would give us 5 points. A penalty shootout loss would give us 4. But we still have the 4th point to clinch it. So, yes, no matter what happens, we still won the tournament. We got a point for the draw. Do we get the pity point for the penalty shootout win? Or, well, I guess the earned point. But I guess we got the pity point. But the pity point wins us the trophy. See what the shootout does. See if we're better than last time. Oh, damn it. It's Dane St. Clair. Canada have won the Canadian Shield, but let's see if the penalty shootout goes our way. Brazil's qualified to the World Cup. Let's see how we do. Let's see what we got. All right, here we go. A penalty shootout to decide how many points Canada ends this tournament with. "90 minutes down, 96 minutes down. Now we have a shootout. Richie looks fine. That's the good news for Canada. Dane St. Clair and Sangare. Badr Ali Sangare, the penalty savers for this match. Jonathan David's going to go first for Canada. That makes sense. Jonathan David for Canada. Jonathan David to take the first penalty. Here we go. Jonathan David versus Sangare to start the shootout. Badr Ali Sangare versus Jonathan David. No, not at all. Here comes Jonathan David. Shot, goal. Easy as you like. Sangare goes the wrong way. Jonathan David slots it home. 1-0. Easy as you like. I don't know if that makes any sense. Goal for Jonathan David. 1-0. Here comes Canada. Or here comes Akpa. Akpa to take their first penalty. It is Akpa. Clement Akpa. Clement Akpa to take Ivory Coast's first penalty. I don't know what Dane St. Clair is complaining about, but okay. I don't know what he's complaining about, but okay. That's whatever. Akpa versus Dane St. Clair. Short run up for Clement Akpa. Shot! Goal! Just beats Dane St. Clair. Dane St. Clair goes to the right side, but Akpa slots it home. 1-1. 1-1. Akpa. Akpa gets it. Badr Ali back in goal against Matthew Chouanier. Matthew Chouanier versus Badr Ali Sangare. Matthew Chouanier with a long run up. Chouanier, goal! Under the arms and in! Woo! Horrible penalty, but it's still 2-1. Horrible penalty, but it's still 2-1. Horrible penalty, still 2-1. Oh, off the hands and in. Sangare got it on the hands, but it went in anyway. Is this penalties? Yes. Yes, it is. St. Clair back in goal versus number 24, Mori Gabane. Mori Gabane to take the second penalty for Ivory Coast. He'll have a long run up against Dane St. Clair. Wide! Oh my! What a horrible penalty. It's 2-1. Gabane misses. He just rolls it wide. What a horrible penalty. Just a little bit too much power. That was for Chouanier. Gabane just rolled it wide. Dear God. That's a hat flick. That was so bad. Yeah, I agree. Canada has the lead with a 2-1 penalty lead. Now don't blow it. Derek Cornelius. Derek Cornelius versus Sangade. What was that? Yeah, that was my question. Derek Cornelius can extend the lead for Canada. It would suck if he didn't. Derek Cornelius, straight on. Goes a little bit wide. Run up, shot, goal. Down the middle. Perfect penalty. 3-1. 3-1 for Canada. Badra Ali Sangade had no chance there. Ivory Coast has to score. If they don't, Canada can win it with their next penalty. What a shot by Derek Cornelius. 3-1. Buries it. They're going to get 5 points. They're going to get the penalty win unless absolute disaster strikes. Number 13. We have Jeremy Boga. I think he was a former Chelsea player. Jeremy Boga to take his penalty. Shot, goal. 3-2. Jeremy Boga. Jeremy Boga scores 3-2. Dane St. Clair went the wrong way, and Jeremy Boga just slotted it home with a short run up. 3-2. 3-2. Tani Oluwaseyi. Tani Oluwaseyi to take the penalty. 4-2. I think Ivory Coast, if he scores, would still have to take a penalty. Oluwaseyi off the foot! Oluwaseyi off the foot of Sangare. And it's 3-2. It's still 3-2. Oluwaseyi hits it off the foot of Sangare. Badra Ali gets it off the foot. A foot save that he was going the wrong way, but his foot gets it. Oluwaseyi misses. 3-2 still. Both teams have missed a penalty. Both teams have missed a penalty. Damn it, Oluwaseyi. Wasn't the best penalty, no. Wasn't the best penalty. So, Ivory Coast, Emmanuel Latelath to tie it up. Emmanuel Latelath to tie it up. The Atlanta United man. 3-2. Can Dane St. Clair save this one? Latelath to put Ivory Coast back to a tie in this shootout. Latelath down the middle. Shot, goal! Oh, just above Dane St. Clair. And it's 3-3. Canada scores. They've at least clinched sudden death. But Latelath makes Canada have to score to keep this one alive. Or put themselves ahead, but keep it alive. Ishmael Kone, he did score at the Copa America. He did score against Venezuela to take the win at the Copa America. Ishmael Kone. Kone versus Sangare. Badra Ali Sangare versus Ishmael Kone. Kone to keep Canada, at least clinch them sudden death. Kone. Kone, slow run up, shot, goal, rolls it in, 4-3. If there is a save or a miss, Canada wins the shootout. If Ivory Coast gets saved or there's a miss, Canada wins the shootout. Because that's the rules of the tournament. The rules is there's a penalty shootout if there's a tie after 90. Kone rolls it in. Sangare went the wrong way. Easy as you like from Kone. And finally, the fifth penalty from Ivory Coast. Number 8. Frank Kessié. Frank Kessié. Frank Kessié. Kessié to keep Ivory Coast alive. He has to score. Kessié has to score versus Dane St. Clair. Kessié. Kessié. Stutter step. Goal. And it's 4-4. We go again. We go another round. Frank Kessié keeps Ivory Coast alive in this shootout. Kessié, the captain. Boom. Down the middle. One of the stutter steps that haven't gone badly, weirdly enough. And we have Luc de Fougereau. Luc de Fougereau. Luc de Fougereau to take the 6th penalty. This might end badly. Come on, Luc. Long run up for Luc de Fougereau. Can he make it 5-4? Shot, save by Sangare. Luc de Fougereau misses. It's still 4-4. Ivory Coast could win the shootout. Ay, ay, ay. Ivory Coast can win the shootout here with his penalty. Yeah, I saw that coming. I'm not going to lie. Fougereau went the wrong... Sangare went the right way. Luc de Fougereau might just have lost the shootout. But they still have the trophy, though. Dane St. Clair. Mexico just beat Turkey. Well, good for them. Ivory Coast to win this game. Ivory Coast to win this game. Mohamed Diomande. Mohamed Diomande to take the penalty shootout win. Shot, goal! It's in! Diomande! 5-4. After PKs. 0-0. 4-5 for Ivory Coast. Honestly, that's probably fair, but Canada still wins the tournament. It was a shootout. It's a shootout. They rotated. They had Luc de Fougereau taking a damn penalty. What'd you expect? That man looked like he was going to miss. Good for Ivory Coast, though. Well, at least he's still smiling. That's good news. Canada still won the tournament. 4 points, they won the tournament. So you lose the shootout. So damn be it. So damn be it. Because it's a tournament. Because it's a friendly tournament. Because they're doing a stupid table thing. Now, if this was a final, well, I guess now it's a good thing I wasn't complaining about there being a semifinal final. No, they did a group stage. Canada wins with the draw and a penalty shootout loss. But they still win the trophy, so it's fine. It's fine. AFCON champions. And they won on penalties here, so. But Canada still wins the trophy. So do with that what you will. Costa Rica, Trinidad ended 2-1. They will advance. And Puerto Rico beat St. Vincent, but it doesn't matter. Suriname and El Salvador drew. El Salvador advances to the third round. With that being said, at least Canada won the Canadian Shield. Losing a penalty shootout still wins the trophy. What a man. Stupid. Huh? With that being said, if you like this stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send some chats on live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you within the hour for the review of this game. Ain't much to talk about, but it is what it is. Because USA sucks. That's why. Mexico has at least a solid roster. With that being said, I'll see you within the hour. Hey, we still won the trophy, so there you go. We still won the trophy anyway, so could be worse. With that being said, I'll see you within the hour. Canada wins the Canadian Shield. They got the draw. The penalties won't count against the FIFA ranking. And they won the Canadian Shield. So, could be worse. With that being said, I'll see you later. I'm running. I'm out. Peace. See you.